Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China, and my lovely assistant Xiao here at the UFL gym. We had a question from the fans on YouTube about butterfly hooks, specifically what are butterfly hooks for? Can you use them in an MMA fight? Now, if you go to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu school, you practice in the gi, you're going to see butterfly hooks all the time, and you will also see them in MMA all the time, but in much more dynamic positions, so you might not recognize what you're looking at right away. But let's talk about what they're for. Before we even go to the ground, a butterfly hook is my foot gripping his thigh, okay? Now generally we think of this as a jiu-jitsu technique on the ground, and it is. However, it's also a clinch fighting technique that we'll use in Thai boxing, okay? For example, if I'm blocking this leg, I know he can't throw a knee with it, okay? And now I can set up that knee right there. So good Thai boxers, especially if they've got their opponent up against the ropes or in the turnbuckle, they can use these, or if he's got me up against the ropes, now I can use these to control one of his legs. Now he's here, go ahead and knee me. You'll notice he's not able to reach me, and now when he brings that back, I can bring this one up. Okay, so as far as Muay Thai, yeah, we can also use butterfly hooks. We can use butterfly hooks defensively on the way down to the ground. He shoots for my leg. All right. Oh no, he's got this leg. Okay. And now I can lock up a Kimura, armbar, etc. Right? So we can use butterfly hooks for sacrifice throws. Okay? Takedown I really like, right? We're tied up. I'm trying for, maybe I've got an underhook here, I've got an overhook there. I'm reaching for this leg. As soon as he feels me grabbing this leg, he's grappled a little bit before, as soon as he feels this, he's going to stretch it out. He doesn't want me to have it. So I'm going to step right to where that was, because now there's a vacuum of space right there, and I'm going to execute a sacrifice throw. Here, let's do that again. I reach, he comes back, I'm there. And now I hit this sacrifice throw using a butterfly hook. Now let's go down to the ground in the position most Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioners are familiar with. So I'm going to take my foot, I'm going to use it like a hand, and I'm going to grip right there. That's a butterfly hook. That's two butterfly hooks. All right? I will use my butterfly hooks in combination with upper body control, such as an underhook, an overhook, a collar tie, a bicep tie-up, but especially the underhook. If I've got an underhook and a butterfly hook on the same side, now I can start doing some cool sweeps, such as this elevator sweep right there. Somebody asked me about butterfly hooks and being on your back. I use butterfly hooks to get back up. So what this does, it allows me to turn my body into a ball, so I can roll back up to this position. And when I'm in this position, I want my head forward, like over this space right here, as opposed to behind me. Here's why. Here, get in front of me. If I've got my center of gravity behind me, such as my head behind me, and he pushes even a little, I'm going down, right? I'm going to get my center of gravity in front of me now. Now he pushes. Give me all your pressure, all your weight, right? So I can maintain this position. You'll see this position in sport jiu-jitsu, not necessarily MMA, because if this is an MMA fight, I bring my head closer to him. He knocks me out with a shovel hook to the head or a bolo punch, something like that, right? But this is for demonstrative purposes. Here, push.
The head.
Whatever. Here, push me down, right? I can maintain this posture as long as I keep my head in front. I can move my butterfly hooks from the ankles to the knees to the thighs. I can use these to control his legs. If I'm down in this position, which is where I would be in an MMA fight, right? So he's standing over me. My head is as far away from him as possible so he can't punch it or kick it if the rules allow. But I also want to control him. So then my first line of defense, hide my feet. Because if I don't hide my feet, here, grab him, move him out of the way. And now he can pass my guard, right? But I hide those feet with butterfly hooks. What's he going to do now? Here, grab my feet, control him. Now he's got several other tasks to do, several battles to win before he's able to even do that much, right? And while he's worried about that, now I've got options to sweep and get reversals and do these other cool things, right? So butterfly hooks in the down fighter versus standing fighter scenario have a lot of applications, such as this push-pull sweep. We can use these as transitions to other guards, such as, to X guard, and then from there we can sweep them, stand up, do some fun stuff, right? But generally when people say butterfly guard, they're thinking of here, a guy in this kneeling position, okay, and a guy over them like this, and then the most common attack from here is a sweep, an elevator sweep, like that, where we go from the bottom to the top. All right, that's a very important move to know. Everybody should know it. However, one of the most important uses of butterfly hooks in MMA doesn't even have anything to do with that sweep. It has to do with a transition from closed guard to spider guard. Yes, spider guard, no gi, MMA. You're probably thinking, this dude's crazy, I've never seen that, you can't do that without a gi. Hear me out. To butterfly guard, to whatever you want after that. He's in a closed guard. He can put a lot of pressure on me from here. He can squish me, he can pin me, he can do some horrible things and probably crush my microphone and make it pop and snap and all this other stuff, right? So I need to take some of this pressure off. I need to make some space. So I'm going to climb the body so I can move my feet up here. This is a form of spider guard. Usually people think of spider guard where you're controlling the gi and you're doing this stuff, right? But this is also a form of spider guard. I'm not going to camp out here. You see this in MMA all the time, but you see it as a quick transition from here to here, the butterfly hooks. Once I have the butterfly hooks, now I can try a sweep. If he's a good MMA fighter, if his jiu-jitsu is good as mine, I'm probably not going to get that sweep, but what I certainly can do, especially since I have my head in front of him, he's pushing, he's driving, he just got the takedown, he got on top, he wants to stay on top, so he's going to give me pressure, I make a frame, boom, and I get back up on my feet where I can use my most powerful weapons. So one more time, I'm down on the ground, I'm being pinned down here, I go from the closed guard, transition to the spider guard, boom, get my butterfly hooks that allows me to sit up right here. Now I can attempt for sweeps or transitions or, move to half guard, to the back, to, choke them or whatever, to stand up. It gives you a bunch of options. It gives you space where you didn't have space before. It's very important to understand your options from closed guard. I had a question in the jiu-jitsu class the other day. I think it was Danny. He's a big, strong guy, but he was having some trouble setting up arm bars from this position because his training partners would get really tight like this. They wouldn't give him any space, and he couldn't get the arm bar, right? So he said, what can I do? What can I do? Okay, here, switch with me. So if that's your problem, if you're in a jiu-jitsu class and the guy's turtling up really tight, has his hands on his face like that kid in Home Alone, and you're trying to pull him off and he won't move, right? He shut down a lot of my options. So, spider guard, butterfly guard, and look right here. Now, he's gonna have to do something with these hands. And now look, I can go back and start setting up submissions now that the hands are open. So people don't usually think of butterfly guard as a submission base. However, you can use it to open up an opponent who otherwise won't give you an inch. So one more time right there. Get really tight, don't give me any space, right? He's really tight. I can waste a lot of energy trying to pull his limbs away from his body. That's a losing battle, especially if he's stronger than me. And if he's on top, there's a good chance he is, okay? But notice I'm creating frames here with my forearms with that collar tie to push, right? Frames with the feet right here. And he's probably going to get even tighter right here because I'm already starting to set up an armbar attempt, but instead I switch to those butterfly hooks. I don't know if you notice my feet, like they go from the hip to under the hip right there. And this arm goes under there, right? Now I've got these underhooks. Notice now his arms are separated from the body. Now I can attempt a sweep, but he's smart. He's not going to let me get that sweep, but he does have to put that hand down to the ground. And when he does that, look, we got a nice setup for a triangle, omoplata, armbar. Pick the submission. You can have it once you separate those arms from the body. So the butterfly guard has a ton of uses in jiu-jitsu, even in Muay Thai, in judo, in mixed martial arts. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. If you have other questions, leave them in the comments down below. Now get out there and train.